In the middle of the 18th century, while most of the world still lived by the rhythm of sunlight, seasons, and human muscle, something extraordinary began to happen in one small corner of Europe. Something so powerful that it would transform villages into cities, farmers into factory workers, and simple tools into roaring machines. Something that would quietly reshape human civilization forever. And it all began around 1760 in the United Kingdom. For thousands of years, life had changed slowly. People farmed with hand tools, clothes were woven at home, goods were made in small workshops. Travel was slow, information moved at the speed of horses and ships. Most families lived and died in the same villages where they were born. Then, suddenly, history accelerated, and it never slowed down again. Before the Industrial Revolution, Britain was still largely rural. Most people worked on farms or in small cottage industries. A family might spin wool in the living room, weave cloth in the attic, and sell it at the local market. Production was limited. Everything depended on human or animal power. But Britain had something special. It had rich coal and iron deposits. It had rivers and ports for transport. It had a strong banking system. It had colonies supplying raw materials. And it had a growing population hungry for work. Most importantly, it had inventors. One of them would change the world. His name was James Watt. In the 1760s, Watt was improving an existing steam engine used to pump water from mines. Earlier engines were weak and wasteful. They consumed enormous amounts of coal and produced limited power. Watt saw the problem. He redesigned the engine, making it far more efficient. His improved steam engine could now drive machines, not just pumps. It could power factories. It could replace muscles, animals, and water wheels. For the first time in history, humanity had a reliable, powerful, and controllable source of mechanical energy. Steam became the heartbeat of a new age. At the same time, other inventions were spreading. The spinning jenny allowed one worker to spin many threads at once. The water frame powered spinning by water. The power loom mechanized weaving. New blast furnaces improved iron production. Machine tools increased precision. Together, these innovations created a chain reaction. Production exploded. Cloth that once took days to make could now be produced in hours. Iron that was once rare became abundant. Tools became stronger. Machines became faster. Factories began to rise. Large buildings filled with spinning frames, looms, and steam engines appeared across Britain. Smoke poured from chimneys. Wheels turned day and night. The sound of machinery replaced birds and wind. Cities transformed. Small towns like Manchester grew into massive industrial centers. Manchester became known as Cottonopolis, the capital of the global textile industry. Warehouses, mills, and rail yards covered the landscape. Workers poured in from the countryside. Farmers left their fields. Families abandoned villages. Children, women, and men crowded into narrow streets near factories. They lived in cramped housing, often without clean water or proper sanitation. Life became faster, louder, and harder. Factory work was brutal. Shifts lasted 12 to 16 hours. Air was filled with dust and smoke. Machines caused frequent accidents. Children as young as 6 worked beside adults. Wages were low. Rules were strict. Punishment was harsh. Yet people kept coming. Why? Because factories offered something new: regular income. For the first time, millions depended not on harvests, weather, or landowners, but on wages. Even if conditions were terrible, factory work promised survival in an uncertain world. Meanwhile, transportation was being revolutionized. Canals were built to move coal and goods. Roads improved. Then came railways. Steam-powered locomotives connected cities. Raw materials reached factories faster. Finished products reached markets sooner. Time and distance shrank. Britain became a machine-powered nation. By the early 1800s, its factories supplied cloth, tools, and goods to the entire world. British ships carried industrial products to Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. London became the financial center of global trade. The country grew rich, very rich. But wealth was uneven. Factory owners and merchants built mansions, investors accumulated fortunes. Meanwhile, workers lived in poverty. Slums expanded, disease spread, pollution darkened skies and rivers. Social tensions rose. Workers protested, machines were destroyed by angry laborers known as Luddites. Strikes erupted, demands for rights increased. Slowly, reforms were introduced. Limits on child labor, better safety rules, shorter hours. The Industrial Revolution was not only economic, it was social. It changed how people lived, married, worked, and thought. Families were no longer production units. Homes were separated from workplaces. Time was measured by clocks, not sunlight. Education became necessary for skilled jobs. Middle classes expanded. Urban culture emerged. It also transformed science and technology. Industrial needs encouraged research. Engineers, chemists, and inventors gained importance. Innovation became continuous. Each invention inspired another. Progress became permanent, and Britain led the way. Other nations watched closely. France, Germany, and the United States copied British methods. Factories spread across continents. Steam power, electricity, and later oil and engines followed. The modern world was being built. But this transformation came at a cost. Traditional communities disappeared. Nature was damaged. Inequality widened. Workers struggled for dignity. Psychological stress increased. Human life became more mechanical. Yet the benefits were undeniable. Mass production lowered prices. Living standards slowly improved. Medical technology advanced. Transportation connected societies. Knowledge spread faster. Opportunities expanded. Humanity had entered the age of industry. What began around 1760 in British workshops and coal mines had become a global revolution. It turned hands into machines, villages into megacities, kingdoms into industrial powers, and simple inventors into architects of civilization. The Industrial Revolution proved that technology could reshape destiny. It showed that ideas could move mountains, that steam could conquer distance, that innovation could rewrite history. And from the smoke-filled factories of Britain, the modern world was born. A world of speed, steel, electricity, and endless transformation, still driven today by the same force that began it all: human ambition and the desire to go further than ever before.